Hey guys, today and throughout this week we will be learning about the role that sleep plays in influencing our hormones and menstrual cycle health. What I find interesting about sleep is that it either feels like a really low or a really high barrier to entry when it comes to being a strong sleeper. Unlike food, you don't have to pay more for organic products, and unlike movement, there's not a huge physical exertion here. There is no pill or supplement that you can take to fix your relationship to sleep. There's only you. When you are the only thing standing in your way, that can feel really empowering and or terrifying. I'd like to make the space for both. I would also like to acknowledge that there will be times throughout your life when extenuating circumstances keep you from sleep, whether that's children or work or school or travel. There's no reason to beat yourself up any further. If this is the case for you, just put a pin in Sleep Week and come back to it when you're ready. It could also be helpful to be exposed to the importance of sleep and some accessible hacks for improving sleep, even if you're not ready to implement them yet. There are two pieces to strong sleep. The first is time, and the second is consistency. For time, we're looking to get 8 hours of sleep in, with even 6 hours considered by some to be sleep deprivation. But the really important piece is consistency, because this is what's going to create the norm for your circadian rhythm. The circadian rhythm is our body's 24-hour clock that signals to us throughout the day what our body needs to be doing at certain times. This includes changes in cortisol, digestion, liver function, immune response, and how easily we fall asleep at the end of the day. But don't forget, as monthly bleeders, there's a second clock, our 28-day clock called the infradian rhythm, which is our body's main timekeeper. So we have these like concentric circles going on. You can almost think about it how if we wanted to eat with the seasons, Earth has its own clock going on, and then we have one step back, our menstrual cycle clock going on, and then one step even deeper, the circadian rhythm going on a daily basis. So like all these circles moving. And it comes back to that piece about body communication, you being able to hear what your body needs the most in any given moment and being able to give that to her. But what you really need to know for this week is that the infradian clock that's working on 28 days is going to influence the circadian clock running on 24 hours and vice versa. So back to consistency, disrupted sleep cycles, aka that circadian rhythm, have been linked to disrupted menstrual cycles. In addition, the disruption has also been linked to gut dysbiosis, which is when the colonies of bacteria in your gut microbiome are just whack. Sleep disruption also gives us an increased risk of inflammation, which we learned all about last week, how that can play a role in hormone imbalance. Disrupted sleep cycles are also linked to leaky gut, the worst, and cognitive dysfunction, so that's your brain. Gut and brain health are so important to the production, the regulation, and the metabolization of hormones. People talk about gut to brain connection a lot, but the third piece of this relationship is really hormones. And because all of these things are connected, when you have one piece of either the gut, brain, and hormones being off, it means the other two are going to be negatively impacted. So if bad sleep is causing issues within the gut and brain, things are not looking great for our hormones and menstrual cycle either. On the flip side, when we prioritize sleep consistency, that is just like a little bonus for the protection of our hormones and keeping us from any of those hormone imbalance symptoms. I think in general, we have this understanding that sleep is really important for our bodies because it gives us the time to rest and recover. But what is really going on in that rest and recovery period? One piece of our recovery comes from the very powerful antioxidant melatonin. Antioxidants help repair our cells from the effects of stress and inflammation, and melatonin is like the baddest of them all in a good way. Melatonin is produced while we sleep, and it goes around and just like patches up the damage from the day. In women, large concentrations of melatonin are found in the ovaries and placenta, so that just kind of goes to show us further. Areas are really going through it and they need sleep. This goes back to the idea that we have everything we need within ourselves. Of course, there are other circumstances, but for the most part, there are not all these things that you need to go out and buy. We are perfectly encoded to be healthy and strong human beings. We just need to remember how to take care of ourselves. Another piece of this recovery that we see during sleep comes during the third phase of sleep, which is called deep sleep. So your first two phases are like lighter sleep, then we have deep sleep, and then the last one is REM. We're focused on deep sleep. So when you get to that deep sleep stage, cerebrospinal cord fluid comes into the brain and just kind of like washes through. It's like cleaning out the plaques. Gives your brain a good dry clean, which is important for our hormones because at least half of our hormone function is all being triggered by the brain sending out signals. We need our brain working like a well-oiled machine. This is the oil. The cerebral fluid is the oil. Everything that happens in deep sleep is hormones are set off. So estrogen is being produced. Part of having a healthy menstrual cycle is that you're hitting adequate hormone levels for yourself. That there's a certain amount of hormones that we need to produce and get into our system to send out the right signals for all the body triggers to go off and successfully make a menstrual cycle happen. Not allowing your body to get to deep sleep, you're kind of robbing it of that like spotlight, showtime, hormones are going out, just creating more like struggle in the process of hitting those adequate hormone levels. So to sum it up, we need sleep for healthy hormones and healthy menstrual cycles. We need quality, deep sleep. We need consistency. Our bodies are like babies. They need consistency. And the big reason that we need sleep is to get that recovery, get that anti-inflammation in, make sure we're moving in that positive direction rather than taking things away from ourselves and putting our gut health and our brain health at risk, which ultimately is a detriment to our hormone health. I'm really excited for you to crack into this week. We have just a lot of doable tips per usual. Not only are they doable, but they're exciting to do. And by the end, you will be completely empowered with knowledge, sleeping at the same level that we are able to hit those food goals from last week. All right, see you tomorrow.